Good evening. Coming up tonight.
Hear about an increase in student housing and dining fees.
And hear about the Gamecocks' tragic loss against the Oregon Ducks.
Later, how you can get an early start to your Easter festivities.
All that and more tonight on Student News at 7.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio.
This is Student News at 7.
Good evening, Carolina. I'm Bridget Bruchalski.
And I'm Erin Smith. Thanks for joining us tonight. The USC Board of Trustees approved a raise in student housing and dining fees at their March meeting on Monday. The housing and dining fees were approved to raise by 5.3%. The Vice President of Finance and Budget, Kelly Epting, says the reason for these fees is tied to inflation. Epting says the board wants to give students time to plan, and that's why they voted on the issue now rather than during a summer meeting when this type of issue would normally be discussed. On Monday, March 18th, the USC Board of Trustees also approved some renovations across campus. The buildings approved for renovation are McBride, Honors Residence Halls, Thomas Cooper Library, and the Science and Technology Building. The Honors Residence Hall will have an addition built onto it, and McBride will be demolished and replaced with a new residence hall. The approved Thomas Cooper Library renovations plan to modernize the space and make it a bit more interactive. In addition, the previously approved renovations to the Science and Technology Building got approved for a budget increase of $25 million. All of these renovations are part of a USC's master plan. They will move on for further consideration at a later date. So when I was writing this story, I was sitting at Thomas Cooper Library and I was looking around and I was like, I do think that it could use a little bit of a facelift, make it a little bit more modern.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, almost every student utilizes T-Coop, to study. But there's a lot of buildings, and this is a really ambitious project, so I'm really excited to see what the university does.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see honors on there just because I feel like that's kind of known as one of the nicer dorms on campus,
Yeah.
But McBride is no surprise.
I'll have to agree with you on that one. Well, as the USC student population grows, student government brings new initiatives to combat ongoing campus issues. SGTV reporter Grace Burgery has the story.
The University of South Carolina is home to nearly 35,000 students, and the number of admissions don't seem to be slowing down. With student population growing, comes campus amenities needing attention, one of which being the campus Wi-Fi, which some students say can be pretty spotty.
Mostly actually in Russell. The upstairs and the dining hall, I have spotty Wi-Fi, and then always outside in this courtyard area.
Students often find themselves having to hotspot their phones and move areas to get their work done. For Student Body President Patton Byers, he hopes that this is something that can be changed soon.
Just last semester, I was kicked out of 2 exams and 1 quiz in Russell House. When you're supposed to have, that should be some of the best Wi-Fi with the amount of students that are coming in and out of that building every day.
According to Byers, student government is working with the CIO of Information Technology, Bryce Bible, to plan a complete overhaul of outdated Wi-Fi systems. Also, with an ever-growing student population comes new safety concerns, specifically the distance of Williams-Brice Stadium from campus. In fact, from where I'm standing right now, if I walked back to campus, it would take me about 40 minutes. With Uber prices reaching high prices on game days, some students have found themselves taking dangerous routes in order to get home.
It was because the Uber was $60 and none of us wanted to pay $60. So we just had to walk on the train tracks all the way back to our dorms, and it was about 45 minutes.
Student Body Vice President Courtney Tax says releasing Uber discounts to students for every game day could help this issue.
Kind of bringing it back to USCPD, we've built that wonderful partnership with them, so they are helping fund Uber discounts, and we already have it in our student government budget this year to already allocate a good amount of money towards Uber discounts.
As Byers and Tax take office this week, they hope to see these initiatives continue to grow. For SGTV News, I'm Grace Burgery.
Thanks, Grace. After game days, especially my freshman year when I did live on campus, I had some very treacherous walks home. Now I live a smidge closer, so it's not as bad, but I do remember freshman year, I would try to take the shuttle back to campus when I can, but most of the times I missed it.
Yeah. I think every student has probably experienced walking back from from the stadium at some point. And then also the issue of Wi-Fi. I mean, when I'm in the Darla Moore School, if I'm in a giant lecture hall, I cannot get my computer connect, and I'll have to whip out my hotspot, which is really, really disappointing on campus.
Yeah, I mean, most of my classes are a little bit more intimate, so I never had issues with that, but I do see where it's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, demolition of the Richland Mall started yesterday morning. It used to be an outdoor shopping center in the 60s, then an indoor shopping mall in the 80s, and since then, the mall struggled to remain open as time went on. The last major retailer to leave the location was Barnes & Noble Bookstore, which recently relocated to Garner's Ferry Road. The property is going to be revamped by the Southeastern Development Company into a community space with a 100,000 square foot grocery store, over 500 apartments, a public park, a brewery, and other entertainment venues. The development will cost more than $100 million and take years to complete. Also, the demolition itself will take at least a year to complete. Coming up after the break, SGTV sports reporters Karenna Porter and Violet Raftery will give us the latest in sports. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Karenna Porter.
And I'm Violet Raftery, here to give you the latest in sports. Talk about March Madness. Our SGTV team has been in our office today following the Gamecock men's basketball team so that we can bring you the breaking news. South Carolina's season has ended with an 87-73 loss to Oregon today. The Gamecocks won the ball at tip-off, but it was the Ducks to make it on the board first with a big three. Oregon would go up 5-0 before the Gamecocks put up 5 points of their own off a jumper and a three-pointer, both from BJ Mack. The game was back and forth for a while after that. In the first half, Mack led South Carolina with 7 points, and Jacoby Wright brought in 5 off the bench. But as it got closer to the break, the Ducks pulled ahead. Oregon's Jermaine Cousinard netted 14 points himself, along with 4 assists, to bring his team to a lead as great as 10. From there, South Carolina battled back to cut the deficit down to 5. Talon Cooper hit a 3 with 5 seconds to go, making the score 34-29 Oregon going into the break. The second half was a struggle for South Carolina. Cooper, Mack, and Michi Johnson all finished the game with double-digit points, but South Carolina could not keep up with the former Gamecock Cousinard. He put up an astounding 40 points, accounting for nearly half of his team's offense. Oregon went as far ahead as 18 points over South Carolina, a lead the Gamecocks could not overcome. The 87-73 loss ended the 2023-2024 run for South Carolina. But it was still an absolutely unforgettable season for the Gamecocks. Despite today's loss, the team can still celebrate its first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 2017. Our George Bagwell and Dakota Morris were with the team on Selection Sunday when they first found out they'd be back in the big dance.
I feel everything. I mean, I feel it all. Like the goosebumps going through my body right now.
I'm very excited. I mean, be able to experience my first March Madness is very exciting. I know that for the team it is too.
It felt good. You know, our motto is earn it. We got to this point by believing in ourselves, and we've earned everything that we've gotten. And now we're here, and now it's time to go show the world.
That's really what I told him. I said I want to make ssure that we get back to being in the NCAA. I've never been there, and that's one of my goals, and it's not being complete.
The Gamecocks finished the 2023-2024 season with 26 wins and 8 losses. And now, despite an early exit in the NCAA tournament, Gamecock fans can look back at a season where the Gamecocks were slated to finish last in the SEC, but then returned to the NCAA tournament. I mean, you had all of that excitement around Lamont Paris, his quarter zips, his rebuilding here at South Carolina. I think there's still a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, I think Gamecock fans should be pretty proud of their team because they've done a lot better than they have been doing in seasons past. On the other side of the court, fans had the chance to hang out with the South Carolina women's basketball team this past Selection Sunday, and I was there to catch the action. Let's take a look at the special fan event.
I'm here at Colonial Life Arena where the Gamecocks just hosted a watch party for the NCAA March Madness Women's Tournament show. Before the event, fans received autographs and were permitted to take photos with players Camila Cardoso, Ashlyn Watkins, Raven Johnson, and Malaysia Fulwiley. Before the show started, Dawn Staley took questions from fans and spoke on the team's success. Staley stressed how their team has been able to succeed in the face of obstacles and how they will continue to do so in the tournament. Fans sat behind the team while its seeding for the tournament was announced and tuned in to find out the rest of the teams who will play in the tournament. Fans cheered as the Gamecocks were announced as the overall #1 seed of the tournament. Afterwards, Staley answered more questions about the team's season and how it compares to seasons past.
They got it, but this team really doesn't get it. I think they just approach each game as it is, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I mean, it's been good in that we've won all of our games, but I think at times they don't really know, the significance of it. They don't know how hard it is.
Bree Hall spoke to the press about the opportunity to participate in March Madness as a #1 seed once again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Being undefeated and winning the Natty is definitely, the goal. And honestly, the goal from last year is the same as this year. We're just gonna lock in and bear down and accomplish the goal that we have.
The Gamecocks will play their first game at Colonial Life Arena against a to-be-determined #16 seed. For SGTV, I'm Karenna Porter.
The 23rd ranked Gamecocks softball team earned another Palmetto Series win last night. The Gamecocks beat the Tigers 6-4 in Clemson in 12 innings. The Gamecocks have not played 12 innings since their game against Arkansas on April 15, 2000. This game was the third longest Division I game this season. South Carolina started off hot, scoring twice in the top of the first. The game was back and forth until Clemson tied the game on a sacrifice fly in the 6th inning. The game remained tied until the top of the 12th when the Gamecocks scored 3 runs. The Tigers tried to respond with one more run at the bottom of the 12th. Pitcher Elena Vaughter retired 14 in a row, followed by a stint of 8 in a row. Henderson led all players, going 3 for 5 at the plate. Carolina hosts its SEC opener against Tennessee this Saturday at 6 p.m. Now, that was an amazing performance from Elena Vaughter. She's looking really amazing this season. I don't think the Tigers should feel bad about that loss at all.
Yes, and I think as for the Gamecocks, they're probably excited to pick up a Palmetto Series win, because for those of us who were watching the baseball Palmetto Series, both of those games were dropped by South Carolina to Clemson. That first game also going 12 innings, but of course that's a little different in baseball. That's just adding on a few as opposed to softball where they play an extra 5.
Yeah, definitely. Cock Hockey is adding a second Division III team. Cock Hockey D3 announced on Instagram Tuesday. The current Division I Cock Hockey team won the 2024 AAU Division I National Championship on March 10th. The club was founded in 2001 as a Division II team. The team moved up to Division I prior to the 2021-2022 season. Coming up after the break, SGTV entertainment reporters Ali Popielarczyk and Emma Wyatt will lay down the talk of the town. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Carolina. I'm Emma Wyatt. And I'm Ali Popielarczyk, here to give you the latest in this week's entertainment. If you're hopping to get an early start to your Easter festivities, Fire Barrel Farm has the event for you. This Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the farm located in Swansea will be holding an Easter egg hunt for all ages. Participation requires the $6 per child in-person registration, which can be done during the 10 a.m. time on Saturday. The registration guarantees an Easter basket and a special prize. After registration, the party begins with various activities such as coloring, egg dyeing, and even the ability to purchase a little white Easter rabbit of your own. The Easter Bunny will also be in attendance, ready to take pictures with everyone. If you aren't able to make it to that event, there is also an opportunity to ride the Easter Bunny Egg Express at the South Carolina Railroad Museum. In Winsboro from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the train will take people from the Fairfield County countryside to the Greenbrier event area. At the conclusion of this event, guests are able to meet the super busy Easter Bunny and participate in more crafts and games. You can reserve your ticket for the ride at scrm.org, and anyone over the age of 5 is welcome. A beloved cultural institution, New Brooklyn Tavern, which recently relocated to this vibrant neighborhood, is already expanding its footprint.
Since December, New Brooklyn Tavern has been rocking the former Cotton Gin space at 632 Hardin Street, bringing a signature blend of music and community to this historic area. Now, they're taking it up a notch. New Brooklyn Tavern has signed a lease to take over the vacant storefront next door, previously occupied by Sylvan and DeBose Jewelers. This expansion means more music and more opportunities and more fun for music lovers. This relocation to the heart of 5 Points emphasizes the importance of supporting local talent and providing them with a platform to shine. With the addition of a second stage, New Brooklyn Tavern aims to address this need, offering more opportunities for homegrown acts to share the spotlight with national touring bands. The expansion doesn't stop there. New Brooklyn Tavern is set to become not just a music venue, but a hub for creativity and community engagement. This new space will serve as a practice grounds for bands, offering much-needed rehearsal space in the Midlands. With plans for music lessons, a retail component offering essential supplies, and even a potential partners with other venues in the region, New Brooklyn Tavern is poised to become a cornerstone of the Columbia music scene. Well, Allie, I think it's really exciting that we're gonna have more live music in 5 Points area because I feel like we don't get enough of that nowadays.
Exactly, it kind of steers our focus away from the mainstream music and more to the local artists, especially giving them a space to practice is really nice.
100%. I'm so excited to discover some new local artists and enjoy it while I'm there. The Palmetto Sportsman Classic is back, and it's bringing many exciting attractions and activities to the Midlands. Starting tomorrow and going into this Sunday, the Palmetto Sportsman's Classic, hosted by the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, promises to be a haven for outdoor enthusiasts. With over 40,000 expected attendees, this annual exposition is a celebration of South Carolina's rich natural resources. One of the highlights of the event is the Dock Dogs competition, where canine athletes showcase their jumping powers. With challenges testing jump distance, height, and retrieval speed, these furry competitors are sure to impress. And if that's not enough excitement for you, don't miss the Extreme Raptor Show. You'll be able to witness majestic eagles, hawks, falcons, and owls in action, choreographed to perfection. Plus, stick around for the chance to meet these incredible birds up close. Dive into the Hog Trough, a 5,000-gallon fish tank showcasing the beauty of aquatic life in South Carolina. And don't forget to check out the Aquatic Education Pond and antler scoring for more hands-on experiences. With 300 vendors offering a wide variety of outdoor gear and products, there's something for everyone at the Palmetto Sportsman's Classic. So grab your family and friends and head down to the state fairgrounds for a weekend of outdoor adventure and fun.
A South Carolina resident is making her voice heard after hitting the red carpet for the Oscars last weekend. Simpsonville native Danielle Brooks was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal as Sophia in The Color Purple. After starring in the same role in 2015 on Broadway, Brooks took her talents to the big screen for the Christmas Day movie release. The 2023 film gave the opportunity for her to have the award against other greats such as Oppenheimer's Emily Blunt and Barbie's America Ferrera. Brooks might have lost the category to The Holdovers' Divine Joy Randolph, but her appearance at the awards didn't go without notice. Many news sources asked about her fashion choices amid her red carpet statement and why her nails sported the number 26. The Juilliard graduate said that the number represented her being the 26th Black woman to be nominated for this category. She also stays close to her roots as the star returned back to the Regal Simpsonville Theater in December for a private early screening of the film. USC students have the ability to have a screening of their own on March 29th at the Russell House Theater, as Carolina Productions will be hosting The Color Purple as their Cockbuster Movie of the Week. Trivia and free gifts start at 6:30 p.m. with a showtime of 7. Emma, I'm glad that this is going to be the next movie that Carolina Productions shows. I personally haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard wonderful things, especially past the Oscars.
I personally haven't seen it yet either, but also I've heard amazing things. And like I was saying earlier, I think it's so amazing for local talent to be coming back and inspiring others to also take part. So we should definitely go check it out together.
Exactly. That's all your entertainment news for tonight. After the break, Erin and Bridget will return to finish up tonight's news. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Student News at 7. Thanks for staying with us.
The USC's Melton's golf team was involved in a vehicle crash, injuring one player on their way back from Statesboro, Georgia on Sunday. The golf team had just celebrated a win when an SUV ran a red light while making a left turn, striking the team vehicle. It was reported that the driver that struck the team vehicle tried to get away but only made it 100 yards before the SUV gave out. USC Athletic Director Ray Tanner told WIS that Nathan Franks, a USC junior, suffered a broken wrist in the accident. Franks is expected to be out until the SEC championships. The team made it back to Columbia later Sunday evening with alternate transportation.
The Joseph F. Rice School of Law is welcoming a former South Carolina governor to their staff. David Beasley officially joined the law school on March 1st as a distinguished professor of practice and public service in the Department of Legal Studies. The school has not solidified what courses Beasley will teach, but he has begun guest lecturing at the law school, Honors College, and the College of Arts and Sciences. Beasley started his education at Clemson University but transferred to USC his senior year after joining the South Carolina House of Representatives in 1979. Beasley later received a degree from the formerly known South Carolina Law School in 1983. From 1995 to 1999, he served as South Carolina's governor. Dean of the Joseph F. Rice School of Law, William Hubbard, said, quote, "Governor Beasley's example of exemplary leadership and public service will inspire our students, broaden their perspectives, and enhance their international understanding," end quote.
The South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control inspectors just wrapped up 173 grocery store inspections from the start of 2023 to now, where there were some surprising findings. While national grocery store chains like Publix and Food Lion received A's, other locally owned stores did not perform as well. Grocery stores with low ratings include Tienda Mexicana El Mariachi, Hyundai Oriental Grocery, and Super Acapulco. According to the state, some violations from numerous locations include an employee washing lettuce in the hand washing sink, washing dishes without sanitizing them, 119-degree milk, and even rodent droppings at one location. The violations among certain locations didn't end there. There were also cases of cross-contamination and dead roaches. All establishments will still remain open, and the DHEC has not announced what may happen in the future, but closures or re-inspections are possible. An anonymous student is blooming joy on USC's campus. SGTV reporter Clarissa Meyer has the story.
I kind of want that one.
While walking through the Horseshoe this past Wednesday, you might have seen a bucket of flowers. U of SC Flowers has made an impact on passerbyers by giving out free flowers to keep or give to someone else. The fellow student that began this tradition wanted to keep the focus on the people and keeps their identity anonymous. Despite personally funding the flowers, they strive to provide them at least once a month, especially during exams. However, it's the reactions that resonate the most with them.
You know, normally people aren't just picking it up. It's like they sit there and they're like, wow, and they're like, I really needed this today, or they go and give it to a friend and they start calling their friends like, hey, come on over, like the bucket's out. So I think that's really what's like set with me the most.
Locations of the bucket may differ, but the Instagram posts use the location as a guessing game to figure out where it is.
A small gesture to help brighten someone's day, but also a way to be a part of something that helps bring a larger community together.
Some snap photos to capture the moment together, while others grab matching ones.
I've seen other people grab a flower and give it to a stranger, so I love the connections that it can create and all the relationships that it can open up.
USC student Emma O'Brien has been following USC Flowers and for the first time has seen the bucket.
I just feel like that brightens like someone's day, just like something really small. Yeah. I've only seen like people carry them around, but like other than that, like I haven't really, because if somebody's walking by like and you see them with the flower, like I don't know, I just think that's nice.
U of SC Flowers initiative to spread kindness is now in partnership with USC and in hope of spreading the idea to other campuses nearby. With the students' graduation approaching, they aspire to hand it over to a trusted supporter. For SGTV News, I'm Clarissa Meyer.
Thanks, Clarissa. This is such a lovely tradition, and I would love to see it continue.
I know. I think it's just so lovely that, you know, they have the flower bucket there and you can go pick them up and hand them out to your friends. It's just a small act of kindness to make people's days better.
And what wouldn't make your day better than a little flower on your way to class?
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Well, that wraps up tonight's edition of Student News at 7.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
And to keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv@usc.com. For SGTV, I'm Bridget Bruchalski.
And I'm Erin Smith. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina. Forever to thee.